Alright, welcome back. Hope you're having a good day. This is a Ficus Microcarpa. It's hard to explain how I got this guy. I'll go ahead and include some of the old pictures now. But this was actually a piece that was in a ginseng ficus or whatever. I mean, there is no such thing as a ginseng ficus, but it was a piece of the graft that was in the ginseng type roots. And the graft just kind of fell out as I was pruning the other tree. But when the graft fell out, it actually came with a few roots. A black pot, one of these little small ones that you buy a cactus in or whatever, that was about the size of this rock. And I just kind of shoved the little cutting and the rock into the black pot, watered it, kind of left it off the side for about a year. And then one day I just kind of noticed that it was just like really big and almost looked like the trunk was going to get too big to keep it in the little black pot. So I took it out of there. I put it in a little smaller, bluer pot for a little while. It was actually, the root was actually pushing itself up away from the rock, and the rock was actually suspended in the air. I don't know if you guys can see. Yeah, you can see it from that side a little bit better. It actually has a pretty good hold of that rock there. But it was kind of pushing itself out of there in that it wasn't even touching the soil. It was just, I could take and spring the whole tree and everything, and it would spring up and down with the rock. And the root had a hold of the pot there or whatever. So I got it in this little bit of a bigger one. I think it was a good choice in size. I kind of wish it was blue or something like that. But, you know, at this point it is what it is. I'm going to leave it alone for a bit. But I'm going to prune this guy pretty heavy. I actually, I repotted it. One of my first YouTube videos 6 months ago. And then I wired it about 4 months ago. I'll put both those videos links down in the description. But I'm going to prune it back pretty hard, take the wire off, and kind of assess whether I need to have wire on it or not. I pretty much plan on letting it recover from this before I go putting a new wire on it, just to see, just kind of gauge the health of the tree a little bit. I mean, it's fine. I don't have any worries there or anything, but I'm just going to kind of see what it does, and then maybe make a decision on which way to wire it from there. Some of these longer tips, I'm just kind of cutting them all off. And in a minute I'm going to get in here, and there's probably a couple branches I might lose altogether. That one's going to go straight up. I was going to wait till after I got the wire off before I really made any big decisions, but a couple of these that are just in the wrong place. I'll pop those up out of there. Alright, and then from there, see what that looks like. From there, I'll go ahead and get the wire off. Go back and watch those old videos, you can definitely see now it's got a lot better hold in that pot. Alright, and now what I want to do is I'm just going to cut as many of these longer growing tips as I can see off. Try to take any of the bigger leaves I see off too. Getting some decent ramification. There's a branch on the inside of that curve. What my goal was with this wire is I'd like for the canopy to eventually come up over the rock a little bit. I don't want it to get out of balance and go too far that way, which is the way it was heading. And then that is the main branch there. I thought about cutting that off and making one of the other ones the apex too, but I decided just to kind of leave it as it is. Gave it some extra green on there to actually just push more roots. Now I got it in the right size pot. I should be able to let it go for a little while. So what I'm going to do is when I set it back out there is I'm going to set it with the sun coming in from this way. Right now it's still, well, obviously it's still winter. You know, the sun is coming higher and higher up, but it's really coming sharply that way with where, you know, where I can have this set at or whatever. So I'll keep it to where it's kind of getting most of the sun from that side, and hopefully that apex will kind of go that way. And then the next time I wire it, I can also just kind of work with however it is kind of naturally going. I'll let it go for, I don't know, 2-3 months. This thing should look like a chia pet by the time I get to it again in June or July or something.